Hey guys, it's great to be back with you all again. We're going to be talking about perimeter again today. And you see perimeter is the distance around the edge of a shape. And we always, to help us understand perimeter, we see the word rim in there, and that's the outside of a shape. And we also have this T right here, which makes a plus sign. And that reminds us that we need to add all the sides to calculate perimeter. Let's look at the specific skill we're going to be working on today. And it's 3.7b. That's determine the perimeter of a polygon or a missing length when a given perimeter and remaining side lengths is in the problem. Okay, and by the end of the lessons, I can use addition and subtraction to find the missing side of a polygon. And we're going to be working with rectangles a little bit today, because that's one of the little trickier things they try to work on us with. So we'll look at the vocabulary really quick here. Let's go and scoot it over here. Phil, scoot over. And the vocabulary for perimeter is the word perimeter, and that's the distance around an object. And the perimeter of a polygon is equal to the distance around it. So we would do, if we try to calculate the perimeter, we would add all the sides. So 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 4 on this rectangle. And the perimeter of that rectangle will be 12 feet. And perimeter is the distance around a figure. And we do that, we calculate it by adding all sides. Add all sides. Remember, perimeter is add all sides. You kind of circle that little T there. It kind of makes a plus sign, not on that T, or not on the capital T, but on the lowercase t that we made in our title right there. So let's get ready and watch this video. This is one of the trickier perimeter questions they ask on the STAAR test, and this would be on the 2007. This is question right here is from the 2017 STAAR test, and Aaron's going to kind of talk us through how to figure out what these missing sides are and figure out what the perimeter of that shape is, that polygon is. So let's get ready and watch this video.
Poster here. Holly's making a poster, and we have two congruent pentagons and a square. And this is going to be our keyword right here, kind of hidden inside that first statement is the key to unlocking this particular problem. So we need to find the perimeter of the poster in inches. So first off, let's make sure we understand this whole weird shape is the perimeter. We're not just looking at that square on the inside. So we've got that whole shape is our perimeter, and let's make sure we know what our perimeter is. The perimeter, I'll put that over here, measures the outside. And so when we're looking at the perimeter of a shape, we're literally just measuring the outside. Sometimes we use a ruler. In this case, they give us the measurements. If we're ever looking for the inside, that's called an area. So area is inside. In third grade, we learned how to put imaginary squares inside of a shape. And we're pretty good with finding the area of a square. Pentagons are a little trickier, and that will come later, 5th or 6th grade. So we need to find the area of the outside here. And, well, we already have some measurements here. So we've got 30, 12, 22. We got all of those right there. So let's just go ahead and add up to see what we have so far. And you notice this is a free response question. There are no multiple choice answers, A, B, C, or D. So we just have to find the problem on our own. So let's just do this. I'm just going to I'm doubling this just to make my job a little bit easier, so I don't have to make this huge addition problem that's 6, 10 numbers long. If you can double it, and you could double that in your brain, go for it. So 2 30s is 60. I'm going to say 2 12s is 24. And I don't have to regroup with any of these. 2 22s is going to be 44. All right, so we've got 8, 6, and 4 is 10, that's 12. So I bet you the number one incorrect answer for this problem is 128 inches. And it's incorrect because, look, we've only measured from here all the way around to here. We're missing a pentagon. We're missing this side right here, that side, and that side. We do not have to measure these inside lines. We don't need to worry about those, but we're missing those 4 sides. Well, let's go back to what I said was the key to this problem. It's this term congruent. So what does congruent mean? Well, hopefully you've heard that word a lot. It means the same size and the same shape. So when we have two congruent shapes, they're literally the exact same size, they're the exact same shape. So it's this pentagon right here is congruent with this pentagon right here. Now, how does that help us? Well, guess what? The pentagon over on the right, we know all of those measurements. And if the problem tells us, now you can't just look at it, the problem has to say congruent. You can't just use your eyes and say, well, it looks kind of the same size. That's not going to work in math. If the problem says congruent, now we know same size, same shape. So if this short side on top is 12 inches, guess what this is? 12 inches. And if the bottom side is 12 inches, guess what that is? 12 inches. And these two diagonals are going to be 22 inches each. Look at that. Now we have all of our missing measurements. All we need to do is add them up. So let's see. I've got two 12s. I'm going to say my two 12s is my 24. I'm going to say my two 22s is my 44. It's going to be 68. That's also an incorrect answer because I don't quite have everything all together. I'm going to take my 128 and my 68. Add that up. That's going to give me my answer. 16. That's going to be 196 inches.
Okay, we're going to look at this problem together. It looks like a pretty simple problem, really, doesn't it? It tells us that the perimeter of that rectangle is equal to 16 units. And shows a rectangle right here. And it shows us one of the sides of the rectangle. And it wants us to figure out the this other side right here, the length of it right there. So how are we going to solve this? Let's go and look at it for a minute. So let's talk about some of the stuff we know about rectangles. Okay, on rectangles, we know opposite sides are equal. So it already told us that this side is 2. So automatically, I know that the side opposite is going to be 2 also, 2 units. So, but what we do need to figure out is what these other two sides are, or really it's asking us what this one length is. So we know for perimeter, to calculate perimeter, we add all sides. So we can go ahead and write a formula, and we put in what we know and we leave blanks for the things we don't know. So I know that I have one side that's 2, and I know I have another side that's 2, but I have 2 sides there. I don't know what they are, but we know all together that equals 16. So we know all this information. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll do we'll change this equation around a little bit. We'll put together the stuff that we do know. So I know right here, I got 2 plus 2 is going to equal whatever these two are plus together. So I know 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus, and we'll just say that we add these two together, even though we haven't added them two together yet, plus something is going to equal 16. And we can go ahead and change it around. We'll take our fact families. And we can also say that if a 4 plus something equals 16, we can say 16 minus 4 is going to equal something. And we can work that one out. We can count up from 4 to 16. And I think it's going to be more than 10, but we'll go ahead and work it out. So we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's going to be 12. So 16 minus 4 is going to equal 12. But that's not going to be this length right here, because 12 is going to be the sum of these two. And we know that on rectangles, both the sides are going to be equal to each other. So to figure out what one of the sides are, we're going to have to do this right here. We're going to have to do 12 divided by 2 is going to equal what one of the sides is. And I know that 2 times 6 equals 12. So that means 12 divided by 2 is going to equal 6. So that means I can put 6 right here in these blanks. So this side is going to have a length of 6. And we'll check it just to make sure. We'll say 2 plus 2 plus 6 plus 6 is should equal 16. I know 6 plus 6 is 12, and then plus 4 is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that does equal 16. So that does mean the missing side is going to be 6 units. So we can give another one of these a try right quick. We see the perimeter of this rectangle is going to be 34 units. I know this side is 10 units, and I'm trying to figure out the length of that side. So for rectangles, we know on rectangles, opposite sides are equal. So that means this side is going to be 10, and these two sides are going to be equal to each other too. And I know the distance all the way around is 34. For perimeter, we know perimeter is going to be equal to, if you add all sides. Always remember, perimeter is add all sides. So we've got some information right here that we already know. We have two sides that are 10. We know the distance all the way around is 34. So we'll rewrite that as 10 plus 10 plus something else, which is going to be the same, is going to equal 34. So we'll put together some of the stuff that we know. We know if we put these two numbers that we don't know together, they're going to equal something. And we know if we put 10 plus 10 together, it's going to equal 20. So we can say that 20 plus something is going to equal 34. And you could probably do this in your head, okay, but we're going to rewrite it. You can write down a fact family. We can go ahead and move this this unknown to the other side by changing around the fact family. We know that if we do the inverse, we do 34 minus 20. That will equal something. And that's a true statement right there. And we can work this out. We'll work that problem out. That is 34. We'll work it over here. 34 minus 20. And that would be a 4 in the ones place and a 1 in the tens place. So that's going to equal 14. Okay, but that's not going to be our missing length. That's going to be the sum of both sides, because right here we have two blanks. We know opposite sides are equal. So to do that, to figure that out, the problem to do that would be 14 divided by 2. And we have to do what that equals. I know that 7 times 2 equals 14. So that means that 14 divided by 2 would equal 7. So that means my missing side is going to be 7. Missing side on this one is going to be 7. So we'll say that 10 plus 10 plus 7 plus 7 will equal 34, and we'll check it out. We'll write that right here. That's 10 plus 10 plus 7 plus 7. I know 7 plus 7 is 14, and 10 plus 10 is 20. And if we add those two together, that'll equal 34. So that equals 34, and that matches what our perimeter is. So our missing side is 7. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this guided practice problem. We'll work on it together. It says Keith purchases a frame for this painting. That's painting right here. And we got some measurements. We got the length and width measurement of it. The length and width of the frame are each 4 inches larger than the length and the width of the picture. What is the perimeter of the picture frame? Well, we got some information here. It looks important to us. Looks like we got the width of the painting is 20 inches. and the length of it is 16 inches, and the frame is going to be 4 inches larger than the length and width. And what we're trying to figure out is what is the perimeter of the picture frame. So by the end of this, we need to be able to answer what the perimeter of the picture frame is. So I guess the first thing we probably need to do is figure out what is the length of the frame going to be. Yep, it says it's 4 inches larger, so that means the length of the frame would be 20 inches. Abbreviate inches, IN. So what would the width of the picture frame be? Yep, it said 4 inches larger, so that means it would be 24 inches. So what would the length of this side be of the picture frame? Yeah, it would be 20 inches, because we know opposite sides are equal. And what would this length or this width be right here of the picture frame? Yep, that would be 24 inches because opposite sides are equal. So we need to go ahead and figure out what the perimeter of the picture frame is. So we would go ahead, and this would be the formula that we would use. It would be 24 plus 24 plus 20 plus 20. So what is 24 plus 24 plus 20 plus 20? Okay, well, let's check it. I see 4 plus 4, that'd be 8. And then 2, 2, 2, 2, that's 2 times 4, and that would be 8. So it looks like the perimeter would be 88 inches, which would be answer choice J. Okay, it's now time to complete your independent practice. Please complete your Schoology assignment. It'll be a blue puzzle piece at the bottom. That's the last thing in today's folder. And be sure to take your time. I'll put something in there for you to print out and work it out in pencil and paper. I always think that students do better if they have the work in front of them, they're working on it versus working on the computer. Okay, but take your time, do your very best. And if you have any questions, please send your teacher a message either through email or through Schoology. Take your time, do your very best, and best of luck to you.